So Roland, what was your biggest hesitation or kind of challenge before going into the application intensive? What was the biggest sticking point for you?
Well, not really knowing what it was about, just not knowing anything about it, and hearing people say that it was really good, and I think I jumped into it later than what I probably should have jumped into it, if that makes sense.
And once you were in the intensive, what was your biggest takeaway or kind of light bulb moment that you had during those 2 days we spent together?
I think it was the questioning and the interaction to be able to zero in on clarity, and it's like with the application, and you have a lot of cobwebs in your head and things, and to be able to get that clear, and it's the aha and enlighten, and it was kind of funny because I thought maybe I was the only one that experienced that, and talking to others afterwards, they said they experienced basically the same thing. So I was really impressed with the process.
And now that you're done with the intensive, what's the next thing that you're most looking forward to on this journey to the TEDx stage?
Well, I've been on stage, spoke a lot and things, and everyone I talked to, I realized that, having been in the entertainment business and stuff, getting ready for a big show and on stage acting and things, it's like, okay, you just really, I feel this is one of my biggest challenges. This is like one of my biggest, I'm excited about it. And I think because I've dealt with, getting ready and stuff for things that, how hard it is. It's hard. Everyone I talked to said hard, and some of my good friends who are professional speakers who've done TEDx's, and they said, they've been on thousands of stages, and they said that was the hardest thing they could go through. And I tell you that I think if I'd done this on my own I probably would have quit out of frustration. And when you sit there and you look at, when Taylor was talking about 80 applications average, and that to land a talk, and you start down this journey, you already kind of have a kind of conceived idea of what it looks like. You're doing your visualizations on stage, and then as you get going, it's just like, oh my gosh, you're excited because you want it to be the best darn thing you've ever done. And therefore, and you're working at it, and I've gone to the point to where I'm here and then quit, and then kind of sat back a little bit and then jump into it again. And so right now I'm looking at putting my talk together, structuring my talk, redoing it, and I've used a couple of coaches already, 30-minute coaching, reserving that last one for the final. But other than that, I've already done a couple applications. That was the other one, was the application intensive. We fill out that, and then therefore you get into applications, but no two applications are alike. They're all like, requirements are totally different, and sometimes I'd have to, what I put down was different than what I probably put on there, but it gave me something to fall back on and add to my template, I guess that's what you call it, my application template, where you cut and paste and to be able to try to answer any questions and such. So that's my next big thing, is getting my talk to where I really, which I had it before. I had it a couple months ago, and now it's totally a different animal.
Right.
And then looking at the practice schedule on the thing and saying, you need to practice 4 months. Now, I think that would have normally discouraged me in the past, but because knowing how hard this is and how important it is that, that you got one shot at it, and one shot on that red circle, and you want it to be the best, and you don't want to get on there and have no regrets. You want to walk away and say, I just gave it the best shot I possibly could. And I did. I pulled out all plugs and everything. And I think that's what I like about this whole thought leader process of that, is plus the support and the new family that I've gotten, where we get on talk practices. People, it's a family, feeling, and coaching and support, and everyone supporting you, and so it's pretty good. I can't imagine doing this journey alone. Well, it's like my message that I have is coming from divinity. It's a divine message. It was proven to me over time. And so I know the message is really important. Therefore, why am I going to try to do it my way? And realize that things and obstacles are put in front of you for a reason. The journey after completing the TEDx, the journey after that, you want to be ready for anything, any interview, any talk opportunities, any television interview, whatever you envision how important it is, it's going to be in front of you. This whole process gets you ready for that. It's the confidence of being able to do that. And so I tell somebody on the talk practices, for instance, just get out there and give the talk practice. Just do it. These people here are friendly. If you want to practice in front of somebody, there's nobody better than these people because they can relate with what you're going through. And by you doing it, you inspire them to do it. And a rising tide raises all ships, and it's kind of it's a good process. I'm glad I stumbled on it.